Hello and welcome to Kitronik Materials live stream. I'm Dominic Morrow and this is Emma Goldsmith, our in-house designer here at Kitronik. Emma left her voice at the London Excel BETT show.
Yep, very sorry, quite quiet.
It's much nicer working with a quieter Emma. She's going to do her best to wheeze through. But we have a special April Fools edition.
Fools.
We are the Fools.
Yeah.
Because it's actually April 6th rather than the morning of April 1st. But we're going to be talking about crazy makes, wacky ideas, things that you could set as a build challenge for yourself or for your class that might move the people into the absurd. But between the absurd and the genius, there's some crossover, we think, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I'm going to take these off because I can't see anything.
I also actually can't see.
Even though we don't have anyone to see, we can't see any of the tech.
Yep.
So I think we could start with just showing a couple of the bonkers makes that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Can we start with this pointless button?
You know what, we can.
So I think you're going to have to push the button, Emma. Can you do it again? And what have you done here? What is this thing? I'm going to turn it round so you can see the mechanism on the back.
I'll try and be as loud about this as I can, so I apologise.
Wheeze it out to us, Emma.
It's alright. So basically, I used the simple servo board in a fit of, I need to do something just
servo
for fun.
Board. With the microbit.
With the microbit in it, yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's driving a servo.
That's driving a servo, which is attached to a linear actuator,
which is laser cut in acrylic.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that we
one of the
sell
things we cut and sell from Kitronik.
Mm-hmm. So, and then on the side of that, there is a little sign with like a dowel.
This sign?
No, other side. Go around this sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So that's actually, if you turn it around again, that's actually attached to the linear actuator at the side here. I've just hot glued it a little bit.
So that's super rapid, right? Like you didn't spend 2 days on this?
No.
Did you spend, how long did you spend on this? You can hold up fingers for the number of hours.
I can speak a little bit. It took me about 15 minutes to draw all the cardboard bits.
Yeah.
And then I think the most I spent was probably about half an hour trying to work out where I was gonna, and that button there, so if you turn it on its side, it's like flat, under there's a tactile switch, and I've poked through, if you turn it around again, poked through some crocodile clips.
So in other words, cardboard, holes, microbit, not doing lots of electronics here.
No.
Crocodile clips,
Yep.
Actuator, servo, drawing, done.
Yeah, and a little happy face for the button.
One of my making heroes, Adam Savage, who did Mythbusters and does Tested on YouTube, a channel well worth a look, talks about cardboard as being like entry-level drug, for want of a better word, for makers. So if you want to make something, you can make it quickly and rapidly and cheaply out of cardboard. So never discount cardboard as a really good way of starting a prototype.
Or being silly for, 45 minutes and making a pointless button.
Okay, the next thing I'm going to show that you made this, I think, for Halloween a few years ago.
Yeah, 2020.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 2020.
Other way up.
Other way up. I think it was 2020.
Wow. Yeah, no, you might be right.
So obviously we've got studio lights on, but if I lean my head in, you can maybe not quite see. It worked really well earlier when I was doing it around the side where it's dark. We've got acrylic laser cut, and there are lines laser cut into the acrylic, with a pattern. And then what we've got here is these are 2 torch kits from Kitronik, of course, which have a single LED and a switch and a battery. And there are holes in the side of the headpiece, the headband, which you should be able to just about see where I'm holding it now. And what that does is it causes the kiss cuts, the vector engraves on the acrylic to catch the light for what would be, if we were in the dark, a very effective sort of futuristic looking visor. I quite like wearing that. I think I look good. Which has quite a stunning effect. I think it's actually currently some of your profile pictures for some of your social medias, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably the orange version I use, and it's just one of the most effective things I think I've ever made.
Yeah. You used a heat gun to bend it?
Yes, actually I used a bowl that I borrowed from you.
That's right, we still have it here at the workshop. I think it came out of my greenhouse. And I think that would be a great live build for us to do on a video in the future. So if people want to see that, they should maybe comment, encourage us.
Cheer us on. We're all about any requests that you'd like to see us make.
We could do a full face version.
That would be cool.
A bit like a full face visor.
Like something you'd see in Tron, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I'd like it if it had colour changer LEDs, so you could do the red light and the blue light, like for skin.
One of those. Yeah,
which we were talking about earlier.
Yes, we were.
Not on the live stream though. And then, I guess we've got a coronation coming up at some point.
Yeah. Oh dear.
You have a gigantic head. But it just about fits.
It's alright.
And what's this made out of?
It's made of polypropylene, spray painted, and quite a lot of LEDs.
Blue and red LEDs.
Yep, blue and red LEDs. If I take it back here, you'll be able to see the colours. But it's a lot of blue and red LEDs on laser cut polypropylene, and it's actually a couple of layers of it as well. So if I sort of bring that closer, you might be able to see there was a couple gaps.
I'm putting this
there.
back on because Mark said I look like Boba Fett.
Oh, well,
I mean, he just
Mark.
said Boba Fett. I'm going to fill in the gaps that I look like Bounty Hunter from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sort of low rent Bounty Hunter in like costume as a t-shirt and a visor.
It's just Boba Fett's next door neighbour.
Yeah, Billy Fett. Related. Right, okay. Sorry, go on. You were talking about your polypropylene crown.
It's it's a couple of layers, and the electronics are sort of sandwiched in between.
Where are the electronics?
So the electronics are around the inside. You can maybe see that there's like a little bit.
I can feel that, like, yeah. So there, you've sandwiched between the polypropylene, all of the conductive parts and the wires and what have you. Yeah. And then there's a battery box here that you've also spray painted.
Yeah, I think that caught it by accident, to be honest with you. But then that's all right. It matches now. But yeah, so the battery box comes out just here. So you can it goes all the way around the outside. If you would like to see that, it will be on our resources section under STEM makes. So you should be able to find that there. Very sorry, I'm so quiet. But
you're doing fine. I think we should show some of the things that we've been using for inspiration.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me
going to turn this off and put it to the side.
Let me grab this up. And window capture.
So weird makes, obviously that's an ice cream cone with a thing in it. That's not a real make. But
it would be cool.
It would be cool.
It would be very cool.
I think I know how I would make that look effective.
Oh, go on then.
Probably be to take that glass part and disassemble it, take the electronics out of the lower part of the light bulb. Of course, make sure that if you're this is not instruction to do it. Make sure that you're understanding what you're doing. I think there can be some capacitors sometimes in light bulbs that can be not dangerous exactly, but not safe either. But then I would see if I was able to put LEDs up the glass parts of the light bulb.
Like in here?
Yeah, so I could obviously run it just off a small set of batteries in the cone. And then what would be super cool is to have a capacitive way of turning it on by holding it rather than a switch. So if you're holding it, it's on. If you let go of it, it's off.
That would be cool.
So, but my point is to say, like, seeing like a stock image like this as something wacky, like, can take you to the next steps of working out how you might do it for realsy.
Yeah, precisely. The next in here, basically, why would you do this? And as Dominic said at the beginning, is a really good way to test yourself or your students, because it's like you end up with like that, like the need to problem solve in an out of the box way, and that can be quite good for testing yourself.
When you're doing something like mind mapping, sometimes called brainstorming or idea shower, like has lots of names, one of the rules that I feel should be adhered to is that there are no stupid ideas. Doesn't matter how wacky you get. Like, there's always someone who wants to go absurd, right? And let them, because it's at the edges of those things where you just bring it back 2 little points, and you might have something that's super disruptive, new, different. Like, it might be a bit out there, but that's where innovation truly comes from. Innovation can come from that going beyond, you know, like, well, okay, so there's a practical way to think of this, and you look at how a problem's been solved already, and then it's like, well, what's the wackiest way we could do it, even if it involved magic, you know, or like changing the laws of physics, and then you come back a few steps from that, you know. But you have to push right out to that edge to get back to something that's possible. So if you think about something like Disney Imagineers,
oh, they are amazing.
That's exactly what they have, the blue sky thinking where like anything is possible, you know, like, so that's how they do it, and then they bring it back and back and back and back until they've got the probable, you know, the doable, the achievable. And you can see sometimes where ideas haven't left the blue sky and they're just like impossible. But anyway, that stuff fascinates me.
If I move us on one,
Dominic Wilcox.
He's great guy, amazing ideas as far as I've seen from the small amount of ideas that I've seen of him, and this is a great one that's on screen right now.
So you were telling me earlier, and I hadn't heard of Dominic Wilcox, but I do know some similar artists and makers that did something similar to what I'm about to describe. He set himself a time period where he was doing a different make every day.
Yes.
And no matter how absurd is how you put it, but like, I feel like he wanted absurd.
Yes.
Right? And I used to do the Make Vember,
yes,
which was a make every day in November. And the point of that wasn't to... the idea was for people that aren't producing any content because they might be too nervous about putting a unfinished project or a half-baked idea out into the world, like to give them an excuse to do it. And I think this is that sort of thing. Although when you look at something like this, it is so like finished almost. It has its own aesthetic and eccentricity to it that I kind of love.
There is a sort of shabby chic aesthetic to a lot of like slightly unfinished inventions, which I think should be embraced, especially if you're going to be using like cardboard and stuff like that. Like, absolutely embrace that, because, you know, that might be the cornerstone of why you feel like you can't do something like this, because you feel like you have to finish stuff. Yeah.
Well, another technique that there's a guy on YouTube and used to be on TV called Tim Hunkin. So type in Tim Hunkin as a search on YouTube, and he has these amazing videos about using materials. But what he talks about is just getting started and get going.
Yes.
You know, like and start just strapping bits together and see what comes out. So this, you explained to me, is from a Dutch designer called Anila Hoytink, who made a dress from mushroom mycelium.
Yes.
And so they're working in using organic organically generated materials that are made out of essentially funguses. I guess that is biodegradable.
Yeah.
So it's battling fast fashion.
Yeah.
So although immediately feels absurd to say a dress made out of mushrooms, it's like, you know, there is mileage in that.
Yeah. And like it sort of hits the same notes as, because we think of mushroom as, you know, either food or like a growing plant that, or fungus that you'd find on the bottom of a tree in a forest, but
or on my dinner plate.
Or on your dinner plate.
Yeah.
But when you think about like that, it sort of calls back to, you remember, I think it was like Grammys or BAFTAs or something like that.
An awards
ceremony where Lady Gaga wore that meat dress.
Oh, yes.
And it called back to that a little bit for me, but obviously something like a meat dress isn't sustainable. But because of how fast mushroom mycelium would grow, the fact that it is biodegradable, and I think I read on there as well, because this is the name she's given this is Mycodex.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that she said about it is that it's better for your skin, which, when you think about it, would make sense.
It does make sense.
But yeah, it's hitting a lot of good notes, but this feels like the beginning of like a revolution in like an odd sort of area, like a really niche area.
It's an area that needs fixing.
Oh yeah.
So like maybe it's something, maybe it's nothing, but like better to try than to not.
Yeah.
So, okay, I think so. What we're seeing here. Describe what we're seeing here in your husky tones.
Thank you. It's a radio hat.
Okay.
Dominic.
Well, okay. So let's get back on camera. Because
that one.
we're going to make a radio hat for Emma.
Thanks, Dominic.
So, I think whilst we're doing this, if you could switch to the live camera, we're going to do this super quick and dirty.
Yeah.
So I have taken the liberty of cutting some holes into this IKEA biscuit tin ahead of time, and I'm going to use copious amounts of the Rapid Prototyper's friend, which is hot glue, and luckily I bought a second stick from the dev room with me. Wow, that is some hot glue, which is what we wanted. And I'm going to get the radio set and whack that right in there. And I'm sure you'll be fine, Emma. I don't think this is going to cause you any problems at all. Just gonna. I'm keen that we don't hot glue you to the tin.
It to my head would be that.
Well, I mean, it would help you in windy conditions.
Yeah. Thank you. What about when it's sunny? Would you think it's going to melt?
It's not going to help you when it's sunny.
No, it's not.
What I'd recommend is if it is stuck on your head, that you stay indoors on a sunny occasion.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Just for your own benefit. I mean, but you'll be able to get the weather forecast from the hat, so it's not going to be a problem for you. They'll tell you what the weather's going to be like, and that should cause.
Oh, no.
You know, essentially, it's your own warning device.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I can't complain.
Can you not complain? You mustn't.
Oh no, I mustn't. No.
Why would you look this gift in the mouth as if it were a horse that you were checking its teeth off? Because I messed up the analogy there.
You messed up.
Okay, are we? Can we go back to?
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I think that maybe took 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have permission to use that.
Oh, thank you. Are we changing
Go and tune you in.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Well, I mean, you should tune yourself in.
All right, yeah, I shall.
So we just bring back up the original radio hat that we were seeing if we could. I actually think it's quite comparable. Actually,
I'm going to turn this down.
You're going to turn it down, yeah.
I don't actually know which one's the.
Well, it takes a little while to get used to your own radio hat, Emma.
It sure does. Yeah. So, obviously that one on there's a prototype, and ours we just made in a biscuit tin in about.
Well, I guess I probably did about 5 minutes of prep ahead. I mean, we'd already made the radio kit, which is from Kitronik. It is the Kitronik FM radio kit, part number 2157, version 2.1, and which I made on a video some years ago. And we took a pepper caca tin from IKEA. I don't think they do pepper caca at IKEA anymore in tins, but any old tin will do. Oh, you're back. No, any old tin will do. I can't believe how much that looks like the 1949
because it's red.
Well, it's red. It's got these two bits coming off the top.
I think she's got a nice.
Look at the look of wonder she has in her face, and look at the look of wonder you have on your face. Consternation, perhaps, but anyway, the point is we were able to reproduce that, probably ridiculously quickly.
Yes,
we could
absolutely.
Probably refine it somewhat.
Well, yes, but it is a testament to the
what?
Changing. It's very distracting. You've got a biscuit tin on your head, Dominic. Did you know that?
It's actually a radio hat.
Oh, sorry, sorry. So how's this for April Fools, everyone?
Oh, that's very in my head.
It is very in your head.
Well, we're not gonna advertise for that particular company. Anyway, that pretty much concludes our wacky builds.
Yeah,
I suppose we should have some sort of conclusion. It's probably, why don't you let us know what wacky builds you've made?
Yeah.
Put links and comments in the comments, and
it's either in the comments or like message us on like Instagram or Facebook or something. Send us pictures, let us know. Or email us as well.
We welcome a challenge.
Yes, we do. Or if you're inspired by this to be a little bit silly about it,
yes,
let us know also. But yeah,
best radio hat wins a prize, which is a mention on this live stream. That's the prize.
Is that really a prize?
I think so.
You know what? Next time we do a stream, if anyone sends us something, we'll go through and show off.
Assuming it's appropriate.
Assuming it's appropriate, we'll show off some of the cool things if people send us anything. But you wanted a conclusion, right?
That's the conclusion.
That's it. Well, I did jazz hands for you.
Say goodbye, Emma.
Bye.
You're supposed to say goodbye, Emma.
Oh, goodbye, Emma.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, Dominic.